Oh dear, let me see. I think that I would have to say as a child you were very, I think we're going to use the word persistent, because in a good way and in a bad way. They had lots of perseverance to get things done, but you, like, sometimes you were like so persistent, like, about getting certain things done. You were almost like would have temper tantrums. But you were a good kid, right? You're always very happy, and you always loved to, like, you loved to play and experiment and do things that all normal kids like to do. But anyway, but you're a good kid.
Nah.
Yeah, you weren't a rebel or anything like that. You're always a really good kid, and one of the problems about being a child that's got all kinds of special needs and have so many surgeries and being taken away from your friends in school for long periods of time is that and coming back and having casts and having needs in school is that you tend to get a little bit isolated from your friends, and you had developmental issues too that kept you from, like, you couldn't ride a bike when your friends could ride a bike, and so things like that.
But I learned.
Yeah, you learned. You learned
yeah.
all of it, because you were behind. Like, you just weren't out with the normal crowd. So you spent a lot more time with adults. So that made you a really easy teenager, right? Because you were just used to hanging out with adults, and your friends that were teenage friends were kind of like old souls like you. Like, if you want a chronological sort of order of events, you graduated high school, right?
Yeah.
So you graduated high school, but you had to go back to upgrade courses
2 years.
so that you could go to any kind of post-secondary education. So you slugged it through, and you went through, and you did all that, right? And it took you 2 full more years of going to school, right? And taking courses at school. When you were 20, you were actually finished school, right? And by the time you finished that year, actually, you didn't want to go to school anymore. You were so tired of being in school, so you took a year off. And then when you got here,
I went to school.
you went to the first thing, but it took you almost a full year to find a school that you wanted to go to, and you got to that school and you went to the school. No, I think you
thought I
applied.
did.
No, you applied when you got here. You applied when you
Really?
got here. Yeah. Yeah, I think we knew about it, but I think when you got here, you applied.
Oh, I thought I applied.
Anyway, and then that didn't go so well, and then we just went back to the plan B of just trying to find
a job.
Yeah, well, not so much a job as like a career or a profession that you could do, right?
Yeah.
And then in the midst of trying to find that career or profession, the counselor person said, if you wanted to go to university, you should try again to go to university. And I said, oh God, no. And you tried and you were successful. And that's a really good life lesson for anybody, like, to learn that if you don't get what you want the first time, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try a second. Yeah, you shouldn't give up, right? Like, if you want to go to medical school, right? Like, try 6 times to go to medical school, right? Try as many times as you can afford to possibly try. What are you doing when you're not trying, right? But I don't think that's always, like, one of the things I think is that can't be defined, right? Like, that can't be, and neither can living with disabilities, right? It shouldn't be pocketed, right? Like, because nobody's situation is exactly the same, so you can't really say, well, I get a star because like, in your mind, that I've overcome, because, like, we just kept living through, right? So, but some people, the ability to live through them, like, is so much harder, right? They don't have the resources, and the knowledge, and the opportunity, or even just the services. Like, you've done what you could, the best of your ability, I think, or nearly the best of your ability, where you are at this time in the world, right?
Yeah.
And you did a pretty good job, and I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of you, right? Dad and I are both very, very proud of you. We talk about that all the time, right? Like, we're very proud of you, right? I'm proud of your perseverance, right? I really, 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 really am proud of your perseverance, right? Like, that's a wonderful, like, that's a really great attribute to have, right? Yeah, I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of how hard you work some of the time.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But everybody doesn't work to their full capacity all the times. Like, there are a few people do, but most of us are in the middle of the bell curve, right?
Yeah.
And you're in there too, I think. Love you. Bye.
you know it just can't be. And if they try to stop us, say weird, I'll call the end of a lazy weed. 'Cause the world keeps spinning round and round, and my heart keeps the time of the speed of sound. I heard those drums and I found my way. 'Cause you can't stop the beat, and it takes me first all the night. I made a woman like to shake it on a Saturday night. So I'm gonna shake and shimmy it without the mouth today. 'Cause you can't stop the motion of the ocean or the rain from above. You can try to stop the party like we're dreaming of, but you can't stop the rhythm of two hearts in love to stay. 'Cause you can't stop the beat.
You can't stop my happiness, 'cause I like the way I am. And you just can't stop my life and forth when I see a Christmas hymn. So if you don't like the way I look, well, I just don't give a damn. 'Cause the world keeps spinning round and round, and my heart keeps time to the speed of sound. I was supposed to hurt the dust about my way. 'Cause you can't